Hi guys!
Hello.
So today we are talking about something that we've discussed multiple times before, but this time we're going to keep it just online based. Most gay dating is done online, so we're kind of just focusing on that. We're going to tell you how to be safe, how to get the most out of it, and just how to have a good time.
Yes.
Because it's all about having fun. So to start off is your profile picture. This is something that the person is going to see for the first time. It's you for the first time. And you really do want it to resemble you. Something to look for and make sure you don't do is don't post a profile picture of something that isn't you. I've seen profile pictures that were dogs, like just random objects, and that's like, oh my god, red flag. That's probably a pedophile, or it's not. But to me, it's like, that's a pedophile.
And make sure you don't post a picture like with a friend or in a group, because they have no idea which one you're going to be, and they're going to be like, I don't feel like dealing with figuring it out.
Yeah, you know, online dating is very fast. It's split-second judgments, and if they can't find you or they don't know what you are or what you look like, they're probably going to give you a hard pass.
And so the next thing you have to be cautious with is your biography. You want to make sure it's not too long or too short, and you want to make sure you're putting in the right material, not anything that is going to make you seem weird or too aggressive in a way.
Don't give them the spicy details.
Yeah, you want to keep the specific details to a minimum, but you also want to just say a little bit about you, but not every single thing. They don't have to know what you do on a daily basis every day.
Also, don't get down on yourself. Honestly, the last thing you want to do is look like you're insecure. Even if you do have, insecurities, that's not something to mention in the biography. That's something you want to stay positive. You want to show them the best part of you. So starting a conversation is probably the most difficult part. It's kind of nerve-wracking and you're scared. So some easy tips to do it are bring up specific interests. If they say, oh, well, I like fishing, you can be like, well, I like fishing, I just saw that and read it, and we have something in common. Start a conversation like that. The last thing you want to do is sound scripted. You don't want to go in with, oh my god, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen in the whole world, I want to marry you today.
No copy and pasting.
Yeah, no copy and pasting. That's scary and overwhelming.
A good thing to do is tell them a certain thing you like about them, hey, your eyes or something like that, to start it off.
Yeah, you don't want it to look like you're being creepy. And honestly, being creepy is something that can happen very easily. You might not realize you're doing it. Also, don't force conversations. If someone, for whatever reason, is just not helping the conversation move along, it might be a sign that they're not the right person for you, and you shouldn't force the conversation. Because everyone has had those times where you just get shot down because you force the conversation so much, and they were eventually just like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're like,
yeah.
Well, that sucks. So yeah, just kind of stay positive, but also keep the conversation natural.
So our fourth thing we're going to talk about is actually meeting that person you met online. It's a dangerous world out there, and some people do catfish, and you really have to be careful of who you're meeting. What you're going to want to do is bring a weapon, or either go with a group of friends or something like that to make sure you are 100% safe, at least on the first date.
When he says bring a weapon, this is pepper spray, a taser, a knife, or if you have a carry license, a gun. I brought a knife on our first date. Did you find it weird? I bet you found it weird.
I found it weird.
But at the same time, I didn't know you. You could have been someone creepy.
Yeah.
I'm small. I'm not that good at fighting. I can bite really hard, but that's about it. I brought this knife as a last resort measure. I can, if he's like, hey, get in my car, and I'm like, no. I can be like, no. Date. Don't expect it to be movie-like or staged. Do not expect him to buy you a lobster dinner, and if he does, he's probably expecting a little. Don't give it to him unless you want to. But, first dates are awkward, and they're kind of weird, and you sweat a lot, and you're clammy, and you get uncomfortable, and that's completely normal. Our first date was a little awkward. To be honest, between the both of us, it probably could have been a lot more awkward. But,
yeah.
You do have to expect there to be awkward silences, confusion, between, what you're saying. So just expect it to be a little awkward.
You also have to know that it's really not that big of a deal. Don't go into it expecting you're going to marry this person. It's just you're meeting somebody for the first time to hang out. That's all it is.
What I'm trying to say is basically you have to have the emotional understanding that there is a chance that things aren't going to keep growing after your first date. It's just kind of testing the waters. If you end up liking that person, that's great. Go on a second date. But if you don't, or if they didn't feel the same about you, you have to just understand that things might end.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That just means there's someone else out there.
And these are our 5 tips on how you could get the best out of online dating.
Yeah, we put these together kind of as personal experience, but also because this video was sponsored by Gay Dating Gay. They're a brand new gay dating site that's made specifically for gay people. I'm gonna say gay like 9 times. They set it up for gays. A lot of the times on other websites, you kind of have to tweak the settings so that it works for you. Mm-hmm. This is meant for LGBT. So go on, check that out. They have a lot of great options.
They're discreet. You can have like video chats and like just texting chats. They have like a little bit of everything, so you don't get catfished, and you make sure like you're being safe and like you actually are gonna know the person. Yeah,
that's actually a really good idea, and I can't believe more websites don't have that. Video chat is basically the best way to go because then you know who you're talking to, and that's probably the safest thing to do. So thank you so much, Gay Dating Gay, for sponsoring this video. You should definitely go check them out if you're interested. The link will be in the description box. Also, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. Oh my god, I honestly never thought we would get this big.
That was my goal from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that is.
So, we're so close. I think we're about 2,000 away. Make sure you subscribe. And remember, you guys, you're never alone.
Because you always have us.
We love you guys so much. Thank you so much
Bye.
for almost 50K. Mwah.